Hello, my beautiful people. It is I, it is her, it is she, it is Coach, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I am here to give you some thoughts and some words of encouragement. Today, I want to talk to you about discipline and what that looks like and what it should be when it comes to your life, what it should be when it comes to your body, what it should be when it comes to your mind, what it should be when it comes to your overall being and what that feels like, right? We talk a lot about consistency and we talk a lot about discipline, but we rarely talk about how it intertwines into an actual act. We get a lot of pointers on what you can do and how to do it and which way to go with it, but it never intertwines into being an actual act that many can stick with. And I say stick with because sometimes when you're thinking about discipline, you're thinking about something that's very obedient, something that's really blah. It doesn't have any happiness to it. It's just there, right? But when I talk about being disciplined, I'm speaking of in your overall life, in your overall being, and just being who you are as a human. And that entails you looking at every single thing in your life. It starts from the time of infancy all the way up into your adulthood. And you taking in everything that you had from infancy all the way up to your adulthood. There's a lot of things that was in there that wasn't disciplined. It was a lot of things that was in there that just was an inconsistency. And sometimes that inconsistency spills over into your life. And that inconsistency becomes who you are. You are inconsistent in your relationships. You are inconsistent with keeping a job. You are inconsistent with your health. You are inconsistent with being who you're supposed to be, because every time you try to move forward, it's something that's not within you, not intentionally, but there is something that holds you back, right? So I just want to give you a few pointers, just key tips that you can take from this video today that can help you start with being disciplined in your life so that you can see the greatness in your life and you can actually start to live a fulfilling, happier life without feeling weighed down with everything that's going on in the world and without feeling that you are not capable. Because trust me, I've been there. I've been to the point where I felt I was incapable. I felt I was non-existent. I felt as though I could not do the things that was needed for me to actually be able to live a fulfilling, happy life. And it's not about the things that you have in your life. It's more so about what you want for your life and what it looks like as you're achieving and going about those daily, consistent, beneficial, disciplined habits to get there. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to stop blaming yourself. I want you to stop thinking that you are the problem. That is what we are conditioned to think because we are imperfect people, but you're not the problem. The problem comes in from, again, as I stated, and just by me looking at my own life, is when you were younger, there were things in your life that just didn't stay consistent. And it's not your fault, it's what you were taught. And when you aren't given the opportunity to be a consistent being, it's not intentional. It's something that you learned and that you just kept doing unintentionally, not even thinking that you're doing it. So stop blaming yourself. It is a habit that you learned of being inconsistent and not being disciplined, and it's a habit that you can unlearn by being disciplined and being consistent with who you want to become and what you want your life to look like. Second thing is you have to have some type of plan on what it is that you want to work towards. Now, when I say plan, it doesn't mean you want to just come up with all these plans of actions and thinking about all the stuff that you want to do. That's great, that's gravy, and that's fine. But you have to focus on one thing first before you can move into a whole bunch of other things in your life. I learned that the hard way. I was trying to literally focus on 20 million things in my life focus on my husband, focus on my kids, focus on my business, focus on my career. I was literally pulling myself in every direction but the right direction, and nothing was getting done. My household was chaotic. My husband was being neglected. My children were like, what's really going on? And I was just really losing my mind slowly but surely. And it became a part of my inconsistent, undisciplined habits, not intentionally, but because I had no action. I had no game plan. I had no plan of anything. I just was living, just living. I was going to work and living, and that was it. Whatever it was that happened throughout the day, that's how it was. And I did not take into consideration nothing. I was living. So you have to have a plan. You have to focus on one goal, and you have to have a plan on how you're going to get to that one goal. So let's take, for example, if you want to be a declutterer, right? Let's say your household is an array. It is just a mess. Every room you go into is clutter, 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 array, 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 a mess, a mess, a mess. Which means if your house is a mess, if your apartment is a mess, if your bedroom is a mess, you are 9 times out of 10 potentially going to still be a mess. So you have to clean out the clutter. You have to clean out the things that mean absolutely nothing and that has no value to what it is that you're trying to accomplish here, right? So in order to do that, in order to clean out the clutter, you have to take one task at a time. Like I say, you have to focus on one thing, and then once you focus on that one thing, it'll become normal. It'll become your consistency. It'll become something that you're looking forward to doing every single day, which won't feel overbearing. It won't give you anxiety. It won't feel overwhelming. You'll actually be able to stay consistent in that one particular area of your life. You'll be able to actually be disciplined in that one particular area of your life. And you'll see that there is hope, because if you clearing out that one particular area in your life, then you'll be able to work on other areas in your life that you know you might need to actually start focusing on, which is you take on the second task as long as you have that first task taken care of, right? The next thing I want to tell you is you have to put it into action. You can write it down all day long and you can say, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I need to do. I want to focus on this. I want to stay consistent on this. But if you have no particular actionable plan on how you're going to get there, it begins to be a little harder for you to actually focus in and discipline yourself in that one area of your life. Take, for example, for me, I know that weight loss was something that I wanted to do. I joined 1,000,001 activities and it still didn't get anywhere with me because I did not have a real plan. I didn't know which way to go. I was really confused, and I was looking at all these gurus. I was looking at all these fitness trainers. I was looking at all these people that were doing it, and everybody had a different plan, but they had the plan that worked for them. And I thought that by me picking up someone else's plan, that would work for me. But the reality of it is I had to find something that worked for me that would give my body what it needed to start to lose and shed the weight. I had to come up with a plan. Once I came up with the plan, then I had to actually put it into action. So this is what I want you to look at. You're looking at your life as an overall. Focus on one area in your life that you need to attack. You need to get it in order, and you need to make sure that you stay disciplined in doing so. So the first thing I had to do was I had to stop blaming myself. You have to stop blaming yourself. Then you need to focus on one area of your life. My focus was I wanted to lose weight. I didn't care how I did it. I didn't care when it happened. I just knew I was feeling unhealthy. I felt stuck, and I wanted to lose the weight. Then, as I had that one goal, you have to find that one particular goal that you want to focus in on in your life. That one thing in your life that says, I want to do this. So I need to hone in and focus in on that one particular area. Once you focus on that one particular area, you need to come up with a game plan. How are you going to tackle that one particular area of your life? For me, it was weight loss. So how was I going to tackle losing the unwanted weights? How was I going to tackle getting my weight under control? It had a lot to do with my food, not so much as my exercise. Because you can exercise all day, but like the saying goes, you can't out-exercise a bad diet, right? And if you are eating unhealthy and you're eating things that shouldn't go in your body every single day, that's a problem, and that is a term for overeating. Gaining weight control doesn't happen, it's not there. You're just adding the pounds in, right? So I had to focus in on my weight loss. I had to focus in on the goal. So I needed the goal, and I had to write out the plan. Once I wrote out the plan, right, then I needed to look at it on paper, but I also needed to execute. And that's what we fail to do. We fail to execute, which means we fail to take action. We fail to do the thing that is necessary for discipline to happen. If you are trying to clean up your credit, you need to focus on those actions that's going to clean up your credit. You're not going to focus on things that's not going to help you clean up your credit or get your credit score where you want it to be. You would focus in on the things that needs to happen. One, you need to grab your credit report. You need to look at that thing. You need to find out from all three barrels, what does that look like? Two, you need to find out what's hurting it. Is there any discrepancies, any inconsistencies that's there? Three, then you need to start taking the actionable steps to clean it up. Versus that not spending your credit cards, versus that not getting any extra debt, versus whatever that looks like. You have to focus in on the plan. And this method is for your entire life. It's a method that you can use for every single thing in your life. You have to do the actionable steps that get you to execute your plan. If you're not executing the plan, you are not going to see progress. You're not going to see any disciplinary actions come into play. You're going to be stuck, and you're going to be feeling overwhelmed because you're focusing on a lot of things in your life except for that one area that you need to start with first. So again, let's just recap here, okay? First, stop blaming yourself. We don't want to do that. Two, you need to focus in on one thing only. Three, you need to write down the goal about that one thing that you want to get done. And then the fourth thing possible is you need to execute your plan. After you've written out your goal, after you've written out that plan of how you're going to get it done, then you need to execute it. It's going to be scary. Everything we do in life is not a guarantee. It's going to be scary. It's going to be, it's going to take you for a loop. And it's going to be one of those things that you're going to be like, oh, why did I choose to do this? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to be better? If you start with one particular area in your life, one thing in your life, you can start cleaning that one thing up, critiquing that one thing, and getting it to where it needs to be. I know for me, I had to start with my mental health, which intrigued my physical health, and then it went into my spiritual health. I had to start with the thing that I knew was going to make me better in order for me to stop my household from being chaotic, get my kids back on track, stop neglecting my husband, and getting me where I needed to be. And that is, you have to focus on one thing in order to be disciplined in that area. Once you get yourself that actionable plan, once you stop blaming yourself, then you start taking accountability for yourself, and you start to put things in motion because you're now actionably moving about. You're now putting those things into gear. You're now putting you where you need to be, and you're focusing in on that one particular area of your life. Things just start to fall into place. Everything is not for everybody. But I can tell you that when you start focusing in on what it is that you truly want for yourself, when you start focusing in on what it is that you truly need for yourself, when you start being selfless towards who you are and wanting better, it will become like second nature. Discipline happens when you're forcing yourself to do the things, when you're unmotivated to keep doing those things, and you are inspiring yourself to keep going because you know that at the end, there is greatness for you. At the end, that is where you will shine. At the end of your planned steps, actions, and goals, that is where you will see the light, and the happiness will trickle into you being accomplished at that moment. Accomplished in what it is that you're trying to do. I want you to take today to write out what it is that you're trying to do. I want you to stop focusing in on your can'ts and your shouldas and your couldas and your wouldas, and I want you to start focusing in on what you're able to do for you. And that is, if you can dream it, if you can see it, you can achieve it. That's it. With the possibilities of you taking those steps and those actions and those plans and just becoming exactly what you need to become. This is Coach. I thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you like this type of content, this type of information, definitely do subscribe and hit the like button and share it with others so that way they can actually get this information as well. And also, you'll be able to spread the love. You're spreading what needs to happen for others to achieve their own personal goal. You're spreading what needs to happen when others do the things that are necessary for them. It's not about keeping the information to yourself. It's about sharing. And when you share, you care. And that's just how it happens in this thing called life. I will see you on the next video. And until then, I want you to have a phenomenal day. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because you are above ground. You have made it to see another day. You are amongst the living. And for that, be thankful. For that, it's time for you to take action and make this day the greatest day possible. Make this day the greatest day ever. For that, it's your gift. And it's time for you to declutter your life. It's time for you to declutter the things that's holding you back from achieving your greatness. Because every person has greatness. And it's up to you to achieve it. It's up to you to fight for it. And it's up to you to win the battle against you. This is Coach. I want you to have a phenomenal day. And I'll see you on the next video.